The issue I'm presented here is ClickFunnels not sending email. And since this is the first time I'm using ClickFunnels, I went into the site to explore a little to get a better understanding of what is the different components and how to even get to the state where there's some kind of action to send out emails. So after playing around with it, I was able to figure out that I would need to create a funnel. So I did a create funnel, just called email collector here, and it's a basic opt-in funnel. And I was able to collect five contacts from the opt-in email using the link here, and I figure like how to check the users and look at the email to and because that's before I even get to where I ultimately figure out why it's not sending email. I want to see are the email address being recorded correctly, and later I would use later I would figure out what kind of what did it look like? Maybe there's some extraneous character in the email, or it's not being stored at all. So did a quick glance here. Everything looks good, um, and so the contacts are fine. And then the next step I want to see is how do I actually push out some emails to these contacts. So I was able to figure out that the way to do that is via the automation. So here I set up a simple send email to everyone automation, which basically would fire email out to anyone who opt in. Um, then I think that's when I find a issue, which I initially wasn't sure is actually part of the issue that you were trying to get me to, or is it just another part of the setup that I'm learning of ClickFunnels? Here it looks like we had to set up a SMTP configuration first in order to get any emails out. So after getting some clarification that that is part of the problem that the user may have forgot or doesn't know how to set up, I kind of came to the conclusion, okay, this is what I have to look for should a user comes and say, they're not getting emails being sent. And so looking at the use chase application now, here you can see all the complete test cases I've written, and I have broken them down to a module level because I think it's easier for me to build out the test, and rather than just have one long test with many transactions, which will make it more difficult to debug and figure out if something were to go wrong. Here you see the first one is a simple login test. If the user cannot log in to the website, then they cannot use it. So here, a simple login website, and I put in the credential that was given to me, and I checked I did a condition check to see if the email matches what I put in, and it does. So this is success. Next, I simply made a copy of this first test and check for funnels, because in my experience, I understand that if you don't have a funnel, then you cannot create any kind of opt-in email. Therefore, you cannot collect any contact. So you would need a funnel to start before you do anything. And so log in, and then here I check for the funnels here on the right, and I use the JavaScript here to check to see what this number is. And if the number is anything greater than 0, that means I have a funnel set up. So that means I'm good to go. So maybe a user, so if this test fails, it will tell me that the user either didn't set up a funnel, or maybe they deleted it, or something happened to it. So that would be an issue. They need to set up a funnel first. And then next, I will check to see if there are actually contacts that have been collected in the funnel. So if the funnel is set up, but no one has used the opt-in function yet, therefore no email will be collected. So again, let's build out from the first two steps here. Just logging in, checking the user, check the funnel. Okay, there's more than one funnel, and I went into that funnel, which I call email collector, and I check the contacts. And here I check for anything that's greater than 0. And if it's greater than 0, that means I have contacts. And the next step, maybe there's a way to do it in use trace, and I just don't know yet. But I would check the emails to make sure that they are valid emails, and there's no format errors, and everything looks good. So here again, log in, and then I'll go to the email, and I will actually download the contacts. And if you have quite a bit of number of contacts, then obviously you will need to open up the Excel and eyeball it, make sure there's no spaces where it shouldn't be. They aren't blanks in the email column. Basically, make sure the data that is correct. And like I said, maybe there is a way to open up the CSV file here and have it automated to check for maybe add somewhere, dot somewhere. But for my purpose, I will simply open the CSV file and eyeball the email. And I can also check in here, obviously. And so that would be one check that I would have. Once I verify the emails are valid, then I would check to see if the user have set up any email actions. So just logging in again, check for the same steps. I'm just keep adding to it because I'm checking for the next functionality. Here, I went into the add email function, and then in the add email function, it brings up a message to tell me to go set up my SMTP setting first. And then here, I look for this text to see no configuration created. So if this test passes, that means the user did not properly set up or have not set up the SMTP configuration yet. So we know that's the issue. And finally, if the user have already set up an email action, I want to check to see, if there's a message in there to tell me that, to remind me that you have to set up the SMTP in order for ClickFunnels to send an email. So like I said, when I was using it, it was obvious because I was able to look at that and see, okay, that's the next logical step to look. And again, I did edit setting. Actually, go up a little bit more. So the user already have a action set up. So we're going to edit, and then it says, and then I look for the message saying that I have to set up the SMTP configuration first. And when I went into the configuration